Hey, what is going on everybody? I've got another gameplay commentary for you today. Today we're going to be playing some Spy, and we're going to be playing defense, which is generally my best, how I kind of get my best as Spy. And yeah, defense, I don't know why, I just love defending, and I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I actually think I'm quite good at defending, and basically, I like the tense situations where in the last seconds of the game someone is pushing the car or there's a cluster, and as a spy you are the last alive and you have like a responsibility to try and turn the game around for your team. And I love the spy so much because it's one of those classes which can really turn the game around, and it's the same with a couple of classes. I mean, people generally say the three S's, which is the scout, the spy, and the sniper, are the three ones that can turn it around. But for payload, I'm gonna dismiss the scout because scout on payload, it doesn't really happen unless it's on a map on like maybe upward. But yeah, so sniper and spy, they have the ability to turn the game around because of the classes are very situational, but they can have a high damage per second. So a sniper headshot on full charge can kill, I believe, an overhealed heavy, and a backstab will kill anybody apart from a Razorback or an Uber. So they've got this chance to turn the game around. So a few backstabs in the final seconds of the game, or a couple of nice headshots on maybe a medic and a heavy combo, it can really help the team. And those two classes, I mean, I don't really play sniper that much. I mean, it's probably one of my lowest played, but I still do enjoy it, especially when I'm doing well, because you can sense the difference that you're making. Whereas, say, I'm not hating on these classes, but say with like the demo man, I spam the demo man a lot and I can hear the hit markers in my ears, but I'm not seeing necessarily the I'm trying to see the damage being done. Whereas as I'm a spy, I have to get right up close, up and personal, and that's just why I love the spy really. And the kunai I am playing with today, the Conifers kunai, and it's one of my favourite knives, but it's not one that I use a lot. And this knife is called the Pazapwns, and it's an old favourite of mine that I made quite a while ago actually. It's got a few thousand racks up on it and a few strange parts on it, and the kunai and we get on really well because when it is quite a situational knife, but I can perform well with it in those situations, if you know what I'm saying. And yeah, I can pull off some ridiculous stuff with a kunai, and it's one of those knives that lets silly things happen, kind of like the Eternal Reward. You often see in maybe like a spy montage or a spy frag that some silly stuff can happen with a kunai in the Eternal Reward. It's because their playstyles are quite aggressive. The kunai's aggressiveness is that health bonus that you get for the backstab, so it's encouraging you to get those stabs out nice and fast. And the changing disguises of the Eternal Reward is also an aggressive feature. But I prefer the kunai out of those two because, I don't know, it's just an old favourite, and I think it adds a lot of spice to the my bad descriptions. It adds a lot of I can't think of the word, but new excitement to the game. I'm just going to stick with spice because I'm like that. And yeah, it adds a lot of spice to the game because it's very situational, it's very risky, and you have to be aggressive with it. In my cases anyway, because I'm a dead ringer spy, if you haven't noticed by all my spy videos. I know I keep making these dead ringer spy videos, and I feel sometimes bad for doing it, but I know you guys want to see the good gameplays, and the best way for me to get these good gameplays is for me to use the dead ringer, because it's just what I'm best with really. I've played with it the longest, and my spy has kind of adapted to that playstyle, and it's very rare now that I actually use those watches. I know it's bad, but I just don't know. It seems that spy in general, the watches aren't used as much. But yeah, this kunai I get along with a lot because the health bonus allows you to be aggressive, and for some reason, like I said before, some silly stuff can happen with it. And if you haven't seen my kunai, Best of Kunai Highlights 2012, I think that's what it's called. Anyway, it's a spy montage using the kunai exclusively. There's some ridiculous stuff that happens in it, and I'm not a trick stab spy, and I find that great with a kunai because spies these days, I think they rely too much on the trick stabs, and I made that kunai montage, and it's got a lot of just the standard stabs in it, but with ridiculous combinations. And the kunai, I wouldn't say is a trick stabbing knife, because you can't afford to risk. You've only got the 60 health, and when you get the backstab, the health does count down, so you can't afford to be risking these stair stabs and things like that. They very rarely need to be used. They sometimes do, but they're very situational, and they're high risk as well, and I prefer not to do them, because one, I can't do them, and two, if I start, then my games are going to become a little bit... I'd say my gameplay would actually get worse, because instead of running away and escaping, I maybe stop and then do a stair stab, and while it may look cool and fancy, it's probably going to cost me my life in the long run. And with a server like this, which has fast respawns, it's really not worth it, and I'd rather go for the stationary chain stabs, which I do get in these games. And by the way, just forgot, I'm actually playing with 2 of my subscribers, and one of them, I don't know the YouTube names, but one's on the other team, and he is called George, so shout out to him. And one is called, oh my god, I forgot his name. One sec, let me just check Steam. You can hear my mouse, apologies. I'll check Steam. His name is Tom Sawyer. He's also playing with me, and he's on my team. I forgot what class he was playing, but yeah, those 2 guys are playing with me on the Wireplay server. I have said before, you are welcome to come and play with me if you want. And yeah, so the kunai. What to talk about the kunai? I don't really know, because you've seen my other kunai videos, and all I can say about the kunai is that the playstyle will generally always be aggressive, and that's why I will not always show the kunai, because I have to kind of manage it correctly, because if I have too many kunai gameplays, then it gets boring and repetitive to see, because with the vanilla knife, I can change my playstyle. I can be aggressive or I can be laid back. Whereas with the kunai, I think being laid back, it doesn't really pay off, because you need to go in early and you need to get those stabs. And that's the way I like to play the kunai. I like to not necessarily charge in, because when you uncloak with the dead ringer, you're very, very vulnerable. And with a map like Goldrush, where it's very two-sided, and you'll know what I mean, because there's that bit in the middle, and then there's 2 sides, the enemy side and your side, and to get through to that side you will generally need to get hit, and that's just because of the mass of enemies that are there. And when you uncloak, you're going to need to find that ammo quick, because 60 health, literally anything can kill you. A rocket, 1 meat shot, especially a medic crit swing as well. Medics get crits an awful lot. It seems that they get crits the most as melee. There's actually 3 ways of saying melee. Those are the 3 ways, but I'm just going to call it melee. I've confused myself now. I should not think about these things too much. Anyway, the kunai adds spice to the gameplay, and it's a nice melee weapon to use. So the kunai, yeah, I keep getting off track of what I'm saying, but the kunai, I like to stay in like a stationary spot, which I know is a high traffic area, but not in the actual path. So I'll stick near these corners. I'll kind of judge the enemy's movement and maybe sway around the corner a little bit wider and try and get that first stab to get me in that health boost. And once I get the first stab, it's then a domino effect. I've got that extra health boost, and I'm going to go in fast because my health is counting down, and I need to go in fast. Otherwise, my health is just going to go back down. And that's why chain stabs work very well with the kunai, because you can carry on chain stabbing even if the enemy is shooting you, because you've got that constant health boost. And some people say that the Eternal Reward is actually better for the chain stabs because of the changing disguise. I argue that the kunai is the best, because people, no matter players is what I was trying to say. Players, no matter what really experience, they're gonna start seeing players disappear and you change disguise. It is visible. It's a very short time and it's quite unnoticeable, but it's visible. And when you're chain stabbing, they're gonna just start shooting everyone. So you're at a risk of basically getting hit by the random spam the random spam, and the Kunai, it just lets you pick up health and take that random spam. But these are the final moments of the game which I talk about. Look at this. We've got 48 seconds. I'm not sure how the commentary gets added, but around about 40 something seconds. And the sentries have gone down to spies, and look at them, they're just here, there's teleports. I'm frantically trying to hold them back, and it's these moments which I really like. I mean, before I'm kind of eating my own words saying that I performed well in them. I didn't really do it on this game, but I think there's actually a video of the it's called Community Plays video. I might link it in the description, where I defend a granary last point against 5 enemies all on my own as a spy, and it's those kind of moments that I'm talking about. And you've got to just take your time, you've not got to panic, and you just got to wait, because they're going to run to the cart because they have to, and then you just spring behind them and get the stabs when they're running for the cart, and that's how I really like to defend. But that's pretty much the end of the gameplay. I did get a ridiculous amount of points, as I always do with the Kunai, something like 57. But anyway, thank you for watching, have a nice day guys, and see you later.